Hey there, welcome to this YouTube channel. It is your first time here. I love you already. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please hit on the subscribe button and be part of the family. And if you are a returning subscriber, you are always the best. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and drop your comments on the comment section. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making this beautiful style you see on the screen right now. So sit back and enjoy. Watch to the end so that you understand all the details. I love you. So here I have my fabric here, and I've already folded it for the back and front, right? So I have here into two. This is for the front, so I place two together this way. My fabric is pieces. So, and since I'm going to be having opening for the front, opening for the back, therefore that does not really matter, but just follow along. If you have enough fabric whereby you fold into two, it's fine. But that is if you want, if you have your fabric center back folded, center front folded, it's fine. You still need to, you will still cut it later on. But because my fabric is pieces, my front center front is open, right? And I have two of it, and the one for the back too is also open, and I have two of it, right? So this is for the back. Then I measure 1.5 inches for my zip allowance, after which I place the one for the front, the two picks for the front, right? So the measurement is going to be starting from here. Hope that is clear. Your guideline, so you mark your guideline this way. So this will be the shoulder line, right? Then on this shoulder line, starting from where the front piece is, where we are going to take the measurement from, I'll measure my neck width of 3 inches. Then the shoulder measurement is still starting from here to shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7.75. I also measure it here. So then I'll be coming down my chest measurement, which is 9 inches. So I'll mark it here. Then the bust, shoulder to bust or to nipple is 10 inches. Then shoulder to waist is 16.5. This is it here. Then shoulder to hip is 25, which is it here. Then to the length, I'm going to be using 42. So the length is 42. Then I'll be adding 1.5 inches for sewing to hem it at the down part. So this is it here. So in total of 43.5. So I'll make this into a straight line. Then I'll be cutting it out. So here is what I have for the length, right? So coming back to the shoulder, I'm going to, this will now serve as our chest line. On this shoulder here, I will be coming down 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then I also go up 1/2 inch for shoulder seam allowance. On the neck width here, I also go up 1/2 inch for shoulder seam allowance, right? So I will connect my shoulder seam allowance this way. Then I also connect the slope line this way. So this is our seam allowance of 1/2 inch to join the back and front shoulders together. Then what is remaining from this slope to the chest is 8 inches. They will mark the midpoint of it, which is 4. They will come in 1/2 inch just to remove the excess at the armhole area. Then on my chest here, that is where I'm going to be marking my bust circumference divided by 4, and what I have is 10.5, so I will mark it here. Then after which I will be adding ease seam allowance, because it's not going to be too tight. So I'll be adding 1/2 inch ease, right? 1/2 inch ease on the chest. Then I will add my size seam allowance of 1.5 inches, or let's make use of 2 inches, right? So that's it. Then I'll connect my armhole with my ruler. So this is it here. So connect it this way. So this is the armhole curve, right? Now the next thing I'm going to do, on my waist here, I'm going to be marking my waist circumference divided by 4, which is 7.75. I'll mark it here. Then I'll be adding 1 inch ease allowance. I'll mark it here. Then I'll add 2 inches for side seam, which is here. Then coming to my hip, I'll mark my hip circumference divided by 4, which is 10.5. I'll mark it here. I will add 1 inch ease allowance. Then I will add 2 inches for sizing, which is here. So just for you to understand more, I added half inch ease at the chest, but on the waist I added 1 inch ease, and on the hip 1 inch ease, right? Then 2 inches for sizing from the chest straight down. So what I have on my hip, the total measurement I have on my hip, I'm just going to mark that on my hemline, right? So let's calculate it again. 10.5 inches for my hip circumference divided by 4, 1 inch is, and 2 inches for sizing. So we'll mark it here this way. Then we'll be using, connect the hip to the hemline straight this way. Then we'll connect our waist to the hip this way. Then we'll connect the chest to the waist this way. So you can see the way I've connected. So that's it. So this is what we have now. Now I'm just going to remove some excess for the zip budget at the back, right? So on the waist here at the back pattern, I'm going to come in half inch this way, just to remove that excess for the zip, so that the zip will relax at the back, right? So I'll connect it straight up this way. You can see the way I'm connecting it. Connect this half inch straight up this way with a straight ruler this way. Then I will connect that to the hip area this way. So that's it. The neck depth for the front is going to be 3 inches, and for the back is going to be 0.75. So I'll connect the neck width to the neck depth this way. So we'll start with the neck depth at the back, right? So guys, after cutting it out, this is what I have, right? So now the neck for the back is already cut, so the back is okay now. So the next thing you can do, you can actually notch notch all the points, right, so that they can meet together. So you can now remove the back panel. So I'll remove this and keep this aside. Now for the front is what we are working on. We're working on the front. So the front is a form of V. The neck depth for the front is form of V. So what I will do is that I will be coming down, instead of these 3 inches that I used here, I want it to be 6 inches. So let's place it on these 3 inches. Remember, we've removed 0.75 from here. So these 3 inches we marked before. Then I'll be using 6 inches, which is here. Then from these 6 inches, I'm going to be going in 1.5 inches. So the opening is going to be 1.5 inches. So I'll mark this 1.5 inches all straight down. You know, connect it straight. This is it. So we are going to cut it out, right? So this V now, you place your ruler and connect it to the neck width this way. Use your straight ruler to connect it this way. You can actually use your free hand too to connect it, right? So that's it. Just blend it up. So you can just use your free hand to blend it up this way, like this. So that's it. So from here like this, I'm going to cut it out like this, right? I'll be cutting it out straight now. That's why you see the center front being fold is not really necessary, because of we are still going to cut this out. So you see the reason why I said, even though that the front it's not folded, the center front is not folded, because of my pieces that I have that I add together, it's not really necessary, because at the end of the day you have it as jackets, right? So I'm going to cut this part off, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll cut it out. So after cutting it off, this is what I have, right? So I'll get the back panel And I will be placing this right side facing shoulder on this back panel. So we'll be sewing the shoulders, right? So we'll place the right side facing shoulder this way. This is the front. Open it up this way. I'm placing it this way. Place it on the right side of the back. So we'll be sewing the shoulders with, we'll place it this way. So we'll sew the shoulder with half inch this way. This one too is also going this way. We'll sew the shoulders too. Place the right side facing shoulder. So the shoulder too is sew it with half inch. So you have 2 this way and 2 this way, right? By the time you finish sewing it, then so I will just pin it this way, pin it this way. So now after finish sewing the shoulders, right, the next thing you do is that you place this back, these 2 pieces for the back, right? You place the right side facing shoulder this way, right? Remember, this is the back, so you place it right side facing shoulder, because right now you have 2 separate front and back separately, this way, because the shoulders has been separated, right? The front is open, the back is open, so we have 4 picks now, right? 4 panels. We have 4 panels here. So what I want to do is that I want to join the panels together. So what I will do is that I'll first join the back, center back together first. So remember, this center back is where we are fixing our zip, and the zip is going to enter the short collar. It's going to enter the collar, right? It's going to enter the collar that we are cutting. So what I will do is that I will going to be sewing. Remember, we've removed half inch from the waist area here, so that means you have to remark it. So this is 1 inch instead of 1.5, so we'll mark the 1.5 back this way, right? So 1.5. We also cross check this place. We have to have 1.5, so I have to reconnect it. Then the front to mark the 1.5 for our zip that we added, right? So this is it. So we have to reconnect it this way. This is just to remove the excess at the back, so it's not really compulsory. You can actually skip this, but just to make the back to relax, right? The dress to relax at your back. That's why we are doing this. So connect it this way. So I'll go over to my sewing machine. After sewing the shoulders, I'm going to sew this. I'll use a loose thread because I'm fitting zip here, so I'll measure where the zip will stop. So from this neck here, remember we still have like 2 inches collar at the upper part, so we place the whatever inches you want to use as your collar. So I need my collar to be like 2 inches, so I will measure that 2 inches, place the tape rule 2 inches up this way. I will measure down where I want the zip to stop. The zip is not supposed to go to your hip, at least not in your hip. So I want the zip to stop at, let's say, 23, or you can just place your zip to measure it where, right? So from this 23, so what I will do, I will use a loose thread. I will sew it from here like this. I'll use a loose thread, right, to this place. When I get here, I will back stitch here, then I will tighten my stitch, right? Then I will sew it with tight thread, right? So I'll sew it down. If you don't understand what I mean by loose thread, or just know that if you sew from this up, to this place, the way your zip will stop, then you back stitch here, you are going to lose this later on to fix your zip. That's what I mean. But from here go down, you are not going to lose it. So use a strong stitch on this part. I hope that is clear. So I will do that. Sew the shoulders as I have said. Then I'm also going to sew the side, right? So it's placed together this way. This is one side, right? So this is one side. This is our armhole area. Remember, this is one side. So just remember the size seam allowance, we added 2 inches. So whatever size seam allowance you add to your own, just measure it, then follow the curve on this waist area, then connect it straight, and then you sew the sides with your size seam allowance. I'm going to add pockets to my sides, right? So if you can add, if you want, you can add pocket too. If you don't understand how to add pocket to your dresses, you can watch other of my videos on how to sew simple dresses, or I will be putting a link on the comment section on how you can get. But if you actually want a detailed tutorial on how to sew side pockets, inseam side pockets, you can also drop your comment too at the comment section. So I will go to my sewing machine, then sew all the necessary places that I've mentioned, right? Then I'll come back to show you. Here is it, guys. I've already finished sewing this side, as I've said, with my side seam allowance. This is it, right? I've already joined the side, the back and the front together at the side with my side seam allowance. Then I've also joined the shoulders, as I've said before, with 1/2 inch that you use and sew the shoulders. I've also joined that too. Then the center back, this is it here. This is seam allowance. I've also joined it too, right? So like this now, you have in form of jacket, right? So it's like form of kimono jacket. By the time you finish sewing all the places that I've mentioned, you have it like kimono jacket like this, right? Then the center front is what is open because we've closed the center back. Meanwhile, we are going to add zip here. We're going to open this place to add zip, but it will be a form of kimono jacket because the front is still open. So what I will do now, from this back here, remember that the collar is going to enter the zip seam allowance, so you have to measure the from the zip seam allowance, and this is the center back, right? So you measure not from where the zip is stopping or where you are sewing the zip, you have to measure for where the from the zip seam allowance, that is entering the zip seam allowance. So you start from the edge like this, you measure it to your shoulders and to the front, and you measure it before you to the hem line, right? So when I measure my own, it was 49, right? So this 49 inches, I just want to be in a safe part so that I'm going to add some inches to it. By the time I sew it to this place, whatever thing is remaining, then I'll cut it off, right? So I make it 52, right? So you know, it's just one side that we've measured, so the other side is what I have. So I have the length of 52 inches. So this is it. You can see how long it is, 52 inches. And as I've said, is one side that we've measured, right? So you need two of it. And because we have it, we are going to add zip at the back side, and that's why these two are separate. If not, if you are doing the normal style for this, what you do is that you join these two together to have it very long. That is, you can sew it from the other side to this other side, right? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. If we are not adding zip at this back here, this center back here, that means the measurement will be starting from this center point here to this side, then you times it by 2 because you are going to start the sewing from here to the down part, then also from here to the down part. But because we're adding zip here, you need one piece for each side, right? So just follow what I'm doing here. Yeah, I have the length of 52 inches, as I've said, and I have it for the both side, which is the 2. The wideness of it is folded, right? So this is folded. So the wideness of it here is 2 inches. When you open it up, it will be 4 inches. Now, why do we measure this 4 inches? It's because remember what we take out when when it was folded, right? The front part, what we cut out was 1.5 inches, and it was folded. So that 1.5 inches, if you open it up, it will be 3 inches. Now you need 1 inch because you need to sew it. You have to use 1/2 inch to sew it on both sides. You are going to understand that. So that's why we have 4 inches in total. So what I will do is that I'll open it up this way. So I open one up this way. Then I will be placing this right side face each other this way. So just open it up and place them right side face each other the way I'm doing. Just follow through. So the next thing you will do is that you measure how low you want it. Remember that when we came down for the neck depth for the front, we use 6 inches from the shoulder like this. We use 6 inches, which is what we have here now. You see the shape because it was a V shape that we curve, right? So you see the shape where the shape of your neck depth stop, which is here. So what I have here is 6 inches. So I will just add 1 inch to it to make it like 7 inches, because that 6 inches is a bit high, right? So I will just add 1 inch to it. So from here, from this zip allowance area, you can see that it's already losing because I use a loose thread for it. So I'm going to measure the zip allowance on it too. So starting from this zip allowance this way, I'll measure it, enter the shoulder. This is just for the back. Then enter the neck depth of the front, then stop at the 6 inches that we came down, and the total is 12. Then I will now add 1 inch to it because I want it a bit low, small. Then I have 13 inches. So that means the neck depth for the front, I make use of 7 inches. So the 13 inches that I have now is what I'm going to measure at this beginning here, right? So I will be coming down 13 inches this way. I'll measure down 13 inches. So the 13 inches stop here. So from this 13 inches that I measured down, you see the center line, because we folded it into two like this before. So you have a center line here, right? So let it correspond. So you are going to sew on this center line, starting from this 13 inches that you have come down. You are going to sew it all the way down, right? You sew it all the way down. So you sew it close, right? So it will just be this 13 inches that you will not sew close. It will be like this. Hope that is clear. So I'll go and sew it, then iron it, then come back to show you. So here is it, guys. After I finish sewing it, so you can see where I start the sewing from this 13 inches that we came down. I sew it all straight down, right? So this is what we have after sewing it all straight down this way, right? So I'm going to fold this like this, then I'll fold this one like this. You can see the way I fold it. Remember, it was like this that we sew, right? So you hold these two together like this, and you hold these two together like this. So then you have it flat this way. So the sewing will be in the center, and it will be in and out neat, right? So you fold it all straight to this upper part this way. So you remember this upper part is supposed to be like this for emphasis. So it's supposed to be like this, right? So you fold it the two this way, fold this two this way. So this is what we have. Then we'll attach it to the dress now. So what we'll do is that we are going to, this is the right side of it. Now at this junction, you can remove the, you can actually open your zip seam allowance now. So let me show you how I'm going to start the sewing. So this is the right side up, right? And the wrong side is inside. The sewing part is inside. So I'll get this and I'll lay it this way. I want this part to be at the front. So at this junction, you can actually choose where you want to be at the front. After sewing it, you can decide to choose this side to be at the front, right? That means the sewing will start like this. But I'm choosing this part because I have this dot here and it's beautiful. So I'm choosing this part. So I'll place it in the middle like this, right? Just for beginners friendly that I'm doing this. So this is the right side up, right? You can see my sewing is neat on this side, right? And the seam allowance is inside. So this is the right side this way. So I'll start from this neck. And this is where the zip starts from. Remember, we've already measured with the zip to it. So what I will do is that you can see the way it is now. I will turn it this way. It is flat this way, right? And then I'll turn it this way. And I'll start, remember this part that is open, that's where we are sewing to the dress, right? So we'll turn it this way. By the time we remove half inch this way, you will end up, see, this is 2 inches, right? So if you remove half inch like this, you'll be having 1.5 inches on one side. So that's the reason why we use 4 inches, because you fold it into two like this, and you remove, when you try to remove half inch, that is 1 inch, and it will remain 3 inches. So you place it like this, right? You place it like this, and you begin to sew with half inch. So you sew with half inch, or like this, sew with half inch. You sew, when you get to this part, you can turn it like this. You sew with half inch like this, sew with half inch like this, right? Until you get to the end. So you just be following the line like this until you get to the end part. So this is it. You can see the excess that we had. So you can cut this out later on. So you sew it like this, then you turn it, you flip it to this other side too, then you start this other side too with the same, starting from the neck to the same way to the other side. So I will sew that, then come back to show you. Here is it, guys. I've already finished sewing it, right? So this is what I have after sewing it on both sides. This is the half inch I sew on both sides. I finished sewing it on both sides. And I've also fixed my zip too. So this is the zip part. So this is the zip part. So you can see that the zip enter into the collar, right? It enters into the collar. So this is what we have. So I'm going to use my whipping machine to whip this area here, right? So if you turn it to the right side, this is what I have. So this is how it looks after turning it to the right side. You can see that it's exactly what we are having in that picture. Then you can see that we sew it on both sides to the end this way. Then I trim the excess out, then place them half on 1 inch and use it to turn the down part, right? I just place it half on 1 inch, then use it to turn the down part. So this is it now, very neat, right? And this is how it is to the upper part. This is what we have. And I've also fixed this. You can also see it on the back side. This is what we have at the back side, right? So this is exactly how it is. Then for the sleeve, it's just a normal basic sleeve. You cut your normal basic sleeve. This is my basic sleeve. Then I cut 360 flare, right, for the with this other fabric to cut 360 flare, then attach it. You can see the way I attach it on it round, right, on the basic sleeve. So that's it now, and this is the end of this video, guys. If you enjoy watching this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I will show you it looks on my mannequin. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please, guys, please, if you are yet to subscribe, please hit on the subscribe button. See you in my next one. Bye.